Welcome to Short Movie Channel. Our movie begins today with a group of young people celebrating at their friend Connor's house because he's the richest among them. Connor and his friend Lucas keep drinking a lot at the party, to the point where they literally can't see what's in front of them. During this time, Connor gets a call from his girlfriend, Amanda, who is a smart girl and values studying the most, which is why she didn't attend the party. She calls to check on Connor, and then ends the call. Connor leaves his friends and heads to the garage to grab more drinks. In the garage, Connor finds a girl waiting for him named Heather. We find out that she just moved to the city, and Connor doesn't even know her. This is the first time he's seeing her. Heather takes advantage of Connor's drunken state and continues to flirt with him until they end up having a relationship. The party ends there. The next day, Connor goes to school and meets Amanda, and he's really happy because he hasn't seen her for a while. While they're standing together, Heather comes up and greets them. Connor quickly greets her so Amanda won't suspect anything between them. After that, they go into their class and continue their lessons. Later on, we see Connor practicing soccer with the school team, and Amanda and Maya, who is Lucas's girlfriend, are there. Amanda asks Maya to show her pictures from the party the night before. Maya shows her the pictures, and in one of them, Heather appears with Connor. This surprises Amanda, but she doesn't think much of it. After the school day ends, Amanda goes home, where she meets her mom and sister, Keel. Keel is upset because she's been married for a while, and she was finally pregnant, but unfortunately, she lost the baby. Amanda comforts her. Meanwhile, Heather is taking a pregnancy test and finds out she's pregnant. She's now carrying the child of a very rich man, so she takes a picture of the test and decides to post it online. Later, Amanda goes to study with Connor. At this moment, Lucas sends Connor photos of Heather's pregnancy test and asks him if she's pregnant with him. Connor doesn't respond to the message, but he keeps thinking about whether Heather is really pregnant with him or not. The next day, Connor is sure when Heather comes to school and talks to him. She tells him that she's pregnant with him, and he needs to do something about it. Connor is shocked that Heather is doing all this because she wants something from him. After school, Connor goes to Amanda, and she asks him if she thinks Heather is pregnant with him. Connor gets nervous and doesn't answer her, then leaves. Later, Amanda goes home, buys another pregnancy test, and decides to take it because she's also suspicious that she might be pregnant by Connor. The real problem comes when Amanda gets online and discovers that Connor is the father of the child. She gets furious. Now we see Amanda at home, looking at pictures of Connor's car and seeing its price. She's happy because she finally thinks she's going to escape from her poverty. Also, Heather's dad is sitting at home, and it seems like he's distant from his daughter, who is also distant from him. The next day, Amanda goes to school and meets Connor, asking him how Heather could be pregnant by him. Connor tries to explain but doesn't get a chance, as Heather comes up to talk to him, making Amanda leave angrily. After that, Amanda sits down with Maya and finds out she's pregnant too, and she starts crying because she doesn't know what to do. That night, Connor comes to talk to Amanda, trying to convince her that what happened with Heather was just an accident and out of his control. But Amanda doesn't believe him, and she decides that their relationship is over. The next day, Amanda goes to school as usual and enters the classroom, where Connor is sitting next to her. He tries to talk to her, but she ignores him and leaves. After the school day ends, Heather talks to Connor and tells him she needs money to go to the doctor, and Connor agrees reluctantly. Meanwhile, Amanda's mom finds her pregnancy test by accident. When Amanda returns home, she talks to her parents, and they find out she's pregnant. Naturally, they scold her for getting pregnant at such a young age, but they also tell her they will support her. At that point, Amanda tells them that Connor is the father, and that there is another girl also pregnant by him. Her parents are shocked and immediately go to meet Connor and his parents. They find out that Amanda is pregnant by Connor and that there's another girl pregnant by him as well, and they need to figure out what to do because they won't abandon the child. Of course, Connor's parents are stunned, and Connor's dad accuses Amanda and Heather of plotting against Connor, which makes Amanda and her family very angry. They take each other and leave. At the same time, Heather continues to take pictures and post them online, writing that she's pregnant by Connor. Amanda sees all of this. Eventually, Amanda finds out that Heather did the same thing with another guy at her old school. Amanda is, of course, shocked. The next day, Amanda is at school and meets Connor. Before they can talk, Heather shows up and tries to take Connor from Amanda, which really bothers Amanda. She exposes Heather in front of everyone and confronts her angrily, which causes Heather to get hurt. Connor has to take her to the hospital. There, Connor's mom arrives and talks to Heather, telling her that she doesn't trust her. Because of that, she'll make her take a paternity test to find out if the baby is Connor's or someone else's. Heather reluctantly agrees, feeling upset, and leaves after talking to Connor's mom. Time passes, and Amanda goes to the hospital for a checkup, where she finds Connor there. He's happy to be with her. They go inside together, and they find out that Amanda is having a girl, which makes both of them very happy. Meanwhile, Heather keeps calling Connor, and Connor tells her he's with Amanda, which drives Heather crazy. She gets even more upset and keeps telling Connor that she's sick. At that point, she takes some sedative pills to prove to him that she's unwell. Connor then feels like he needs to leave Amanda and check on Heather. Heather takes this opportunity and grabs Connor's phone. She sends a message to Amanda saying that Connor is with Heather, which upsets Amanda because she thinks it was Connor who sent the message. Later, Heather starts showing Connor her future home, the one she plans to live in with their baby when it arrives. The house, however, is in very bad shape. Heather keeps asking Connor to have his parents fix it, and Connor starts to realize that Heather is taking advantage of him, but he agrees to help. After that, Connor goes home, and his mother finds out that the paternity test results are in, and it turns out that Heather is really pregnant with his child. Connor feels devastated because he realizes he's in a tough situation, and he tells his mom that they need to fix up Heather's house. His mom reluctantly agrees, feeling like Heather is just trying to take advantage of the money. The next day, Amanda goes to school, sits with Connor, and asks him about the message he sent her, asking why he was planning to hang out with Heather and not care about her. Connor is surprised because he didn't send any message. That's when Amanda realizes that Heather is the one who sent the message. She gets mad, starts arguing with her as usual, and then storms off. Later, we see Connor's mom meeting with Heather's dad. She tells him that she wants his daughter to stay away from her son completely, so she gives him a check for a lot of money to live off of and never come near Connor again. Heather's dad agrees, takes the check, and leaves. A little while later, Connor goes to Heather's house and finds out that her dad ran off with the money he took, and Heather feels completely betrayed. Meanwhile, Connor is with Amanda, and he tells her that he loves her very much and that he'll never stay with Heather. He tells her that Heather will just be the mother of his child, but he doesn't love her and never will. This makes Amanda incredibly happy, and she feels like Connor is back to how he was before. So, Connor and Amanda go to Connor's house to spend some time together, but they're shocked to find Heather there with his mom. Heather then tells them what her dad did to her, and Connor's mom tells them they'll have to keep Heather with them to take care of her. This makes Heather extremely happy, while Amanda gets upset and leaves. Connor tries to convince her that nothing has changed, but Amanda doesn't believe him and realizes that their relationship is over. She leaves and walks away. That night, Heather joins Connor and his family for dinner. She keeps talking about all the things she needs that cost a lot of money, which annoys everyone. Connor stays quiet and changes the subject, then tells his parents that he plans to live with Amanda and marry her soon. This makes Heather jealous, but she stays quiet. Later, Connor records a voice message for Amanda, telling her how much he loves her and asking her to come back. At that moment, Heather is caught eavesdropping on Connor, but his mom notices and gets really upset. Heather quietly goes to her room. The next day, Heather keeps talking to Connor and asks him to spend the day with her, but Connor refuses because he has a very important appointment with Amanda. He leaves, and Heather gets really mad. She decides to follow him, so she heads to the garage and tries to take Connor's dad's car to track him down. At that moment, a person named Torrent shows up. We learn that Torrent had a long-standing relationship with Heather and knows all her secrets. He threatens to expose her in front of Connor and his family. He also knows that Heather is always looking for a rich man to get pregnant by, so she can trap him into marriage. However, Torrance might not say anything about it, but Heather decides she won't pay him money or let him go. She grabs a key and hits him on the head with it. Afterward, she puts him in Connor's father's car and drives away. After a while, Heather arrives at her old house and enters with Torrance's husband. She locks him in the basement. At the same time, we see Amanda and Connor in a therapy center, learning how to handle children. Heather arrives, sees them, and gets furious. She waits for them to finish, then follows them. While Connor and Amanda are walking, Amanda talks to Connor, suggesting they give their upcoming child to Amanda's sister and her husband to raise, since they can't have children. Connor says he'll think about it, and responds later. Afterward, Connor says goodbye and leaves. At that moment, Heather shows up, driving recklessly, and tries to run over Amanda. Amanda manages to escape just in time, and thankfully, she isn't hurt. Heather then confronts Connor's mother, accusing her of stealing Connor's car and threatening to report her. Heather loses control and attacks Connor's mother, threatening to kill her if she tries to keep her away from Connor. After the confrontation, she leaves the house as if nothing happened. A while later, Connor arrives home and learns from his mother what Heather has done. He gets angry and confronts Heather. He tells her she won't be staying in that house again and that they've found her a new apartment to live in with her son. He also tells her that he'll financially support the child, but he'll never be close to her because he hates her. He tells her they will never marry. After the argument, Connor leaves. Heather is upset and angry but has no other choice. She agrees to live in the small apartment, which is sad and terrible. She deserves it. Meanwhile, Connor and Amanda are visiting Amanda's sister and her husband and decide to give them their child to raise, as they can't have children. Amanda and Connor are young, and this decision shocks Amanda's sister and her husband. They thank Amanda and Connor for making this choice. Time passes, and we see Connor and Amanda at school, riding the bus with other students on a trip. Unfortunately, Heather is also on the bus, as she's attending the same trip. Connor and Amanda ignore her, not saying a word to her. Later, Heather notices Amanda walking alone in a deserted area, so she starts following her. She stops Amanda, and Amanda tells her she hates her because Heather has everything but still tried to steal Connor from her. Amanda explains that she loves Connor and never intended to hurt her, but Heather, being crazy, doesn't believe her. Heather has a knife and keeps chasing Amanda, intending to kill her. Heather continues chasing Amanda for a while until she catches up to her and attacks her. However, Amanda doesn't get hurt, and when she tries to escape, Heather stops her and reveals she's feeling labor pains and is about to give birth. Despite everything that happened, Amanda starts helping Heather and successfully delivers her baby. Connor then arrives, shocked to see the child, and this situation overwhelms him. A while later, we see Amanda in the hospital, where she gives birth to a beautiful baby girl. Both Amanda and Connor are overjoyed. Amanda's sister arrives and realizes she won't be taking the child, as it's best for the baby to stay with her parents. Amanda and Connor decide to raise the child together with love and happiness. As for Heather, she is now in the police station, being investigated because the police found Torrance's body in her house. They decide to imprison her for 20 years. Honestly, she deserves it. As for her son, the government will place him in an orphanage until his crazy mother is released from prison. And that's the end of our movie's events today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.